Happy Black History Month and welcome back to a new episode of Jupiter Juice. All my Black people, do you feel lovely? Do you feel awesome? You should, because It's about us this month, okay? Yes. T.
Yeah.
Clock it.
Yeah.
Anyway, on this episode, we are talking about Saturn and Aries, and Lee really wanted to discuss this particular transit because she will be entering her Saturn return. I already went through my mess. Okay. I'm Saturn Aquarius, babes. Okay. So I already went through it. So, now I feel matured, and I've been through some things. So it's your turn.
Yes. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes. Yes. So we're going to discuss Saturn and Aries. We're going to break it down, talk about what it means. We're going to talk about what it means for, you babies going through Saturn returns. And then also the Saturn and Neptune conjunction that will be happening. Mm-hmm. So stay tuned. Okay.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Ronnie.
And I'm Lee.
And welcome back to Jupiter Juice, your cosmic check-in for all things astrology, pop culture, and spiritual self-discovery. Hey. Yes. And on this episode, we're discussing Saturn and Aries. It will be entering the sign of Aries on February 13th. Side note, that's also the anniversary for Jupiter Juice. Yes. Hey, so it's going to be a major day.
Shout out to us.
I know, right? I think that's very ironic.
Yeah, it is.
And it's It's very ironic because it's going to be in our fifth house in whole sign.
Yeah.
So building.
Crazy. Yeah. Our baby. This is our baby.
Exactly. So I think
that's a baby together.
Yeah. Oh my God, we made a baby. I literally was thinking about that the other day. I was like, oh my God, we birthed something.
Yeah. We baby, we have a child
and
together.
We're working on another child too.
Yeah.
Side note, we are working on another child.
We got 2 kids.
Yes. We're about to have, so it's like a surrogacy program. Anyway. So we're actually working on another project. We're working on a tarot deck. I came to Lee about this idea years ago, and it's something I've always wanted to do. And she's perfect at graphic design, so I hit her up. And then Lee had the funny idea. Anyway, she had a great idea that basically we can't launch to no audience. So that's how we conceptualized and came up with Jupiter Juice. So that's why we are here. So this project that, we're working on is the reason why we are Jupiter Juice, and it's a tarot deck. Mm-hmm. I'm comfortable with saying that now. Anyway, so yes,
I noticed that.
Yeah.
I noticed that. I was like, okay.
I'm trying. Okay, it's a trust thing. So, but yes, we are working on a tarot deck, and it's going to be super fun. It's a whole thing. But anyway, just to let you guys know, before we get started, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
You know what to do.
Okay. And make sure you log on and subscribe to our Patreon. Okay. So you can get access to the Moon Press. And we're going to start going live there. It's going to be some extra perks, but we need our family. We need our support. So definitely go check out our Patreon and join the club. Okay.
Yes, please.
All right.
Yes, please.
So yeah.
All right.
Let's get into it.
So let's get into it. So starting off with, I guess, Aries energy. Okay. First, Aries is the first sign, so it restarts the cycle in the zodiac. So it's a very fresh and new energy. Mm-hmm. Aries and all the fire signs have to do with your identity. So a lot of the collective is going to be learning lessons, because that's what Saturn does, right? It teaches you lessons. It gives you challenges to overcome to make you a better person. So you'll be learning a lot of lessons around your identity, around how you show up in the world, who you are, what you're about. Aries is a sign that knows who they are and knows what they're about. But when it's in Saturn, that's challenged a lot.
Yeah.
And for me, as a native Saturn and Aries person, I noticed that I've had to learn a lot of lessons around people challenging me a lot. When it comes to what I know or things I know, I even had to learn how to take a back seat a lot instead of trying to overly prove myself. I've had to bring it down, simmer it down, bring myself down a few notches so that I'm not entering that unintegrated Aries energy. I think that with Saturn and Aries, it's easy to enter the unintegrated. I don't like to say evolved or unevolved, because I think that we're always
evolving.
So I think
and
that's,
evolving.
Yeah, I'd like to say, like, I'm an evolved sign. I'm actually evolved. I don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
You'll never know. Maybe you'll lose everything you have, and you're back to square one.
Yeah. Oh Lord.
We're human, so it's like either you can integrate the energy and you're like working with it in balance, or you're not.
Yeah.
And we all fall in either, right?
Mm-hmm.
So unbalanced Aries energy to me can go like a couple different ways. It can go, you're either super egotistical, like on a power trip, big head, hard head, ram head, forcing your way through things, impulsive, moving way too fast.
Yeah. And Saturn ain't gonna let you do that.
Yeah. Or on the flip side, you can be very meek. You do not take a stand for yourself. You do not stand up for yourself, because this is also like Saturn in the first house energy. So you don't stand for anything. You're afraid to stand for something. Saturn and Aries people, we have to be brave. That's the whole lesson around being a Saturn and Aries person. We are leading the way for the rest of the zodiac cycle. Yeah. So
yeah, man,
it's gonna be some interesting.
Well, I want to kind of bring it back to, so you broke down, Aries, right? And so I want to break down Saturn. I'm a Saturn dominant person. So it's like I have a very intimate relationship. Wait, that sounds weird, because like Saturn is like the dad. It's weird. Anyway,
girl.
Whatever. But yeah, I do have an intimate relationship with the sign, the planet Saturn. And Saturn, child, I learned more than anything. You want to go, especially them Aries, Saturn gonna be like, where you going? It's like, it literally has like a hold on you, because the thing is, it wants you to learn how to use this energy properly, right? It wants you, because when it comes to Saturn returns, like just going back to that, Saturn returns are hard lessons, or lessons that are necessary to learn in order for you to, it's kind of like the, like in astrology, like the area that transitions you into like true adulthood, because in your 20s, you're not really an adult. It's like, you're kind of like the infants of adults, when it, like 30-year-olds are kind of like the teenagers, 40 and up are kind of like, okay, true adults, right? And so it's really showing you what true adulthood looks like. And a lot of times, just from experience going through my own Saturn return, a lot of times you lose a lot, because Saturn's also the planet of, in the traditional astrology, they say that, it's the death planet, it kills off things, but it kills off things in order for things to grow. So for example, with my particular Saturn return, I lost a lot of family members. They died, but it had a lot to do with my support system and like my own personal journey in life. It's like I have to do a lot of things independently now, and and being able to rely on myself and rely on my voice, because it's in my third house. So it's like and I'm still growing with that, but now I'm a lot more comfortable with my voice, but you have to learn the lessons. I lost a lot of friends during that time, and you'll see that. You can lose friends, relationship can shift, you can move, you know what I'm saying? But it's about cutting off unnecessary things, or the things that don't serve you anymore, so that you can evolve. And evolving is not always going to feel like a positive thing. It's going to hurt sometimes, And when it comes to Saturn and Aries, though, it's more because, like, for me, like Saturn and Aquarius, it's more like the mind and, thinking and like, even your voice, right? Networking community and stuff like that. Because, child, I swear to God, like, I lost a lot of friends during that time. But with Saturn and Aries, it definitely does deal with your identity. So you may be going through like an ego death type of vibe. So it may be more internalized, and also that can translate where you may lose friends too, because you are going through that ego death. You are having to change an identity, so your community may change because of that. It may now it's like, oh, I don't recognize you no more. So that's something you may be dealing with as an experienced Saturn return person.
Thank you.
You're
thank
welcome.
you for giving us your wisdom and for embarking us on our journey.
Sure.
I think that Aries, what you said about like kind of what Aquarius represents, I think Aries represents the self. So it's like, it could be a very self-focused time. It could be a very, like, even if you don't have your natal Saturn and Aries, it's a time to focus on, what do I want for real? And what am I willing to do for it? Even when life, hits me and things are coming at me, am I willing to keep going? Because another thing about Aries is they're very on to the next easily. So it's like, whatever. I don't care about that anymore. On to the next thing.
Yeah.
Whatever. And that's why Saturn debilitates in Aries, because Aries does not care about longevity. It cares about starting things. And it's the pioneer. It cares about just starting, moving on, starting, moving on. So it could be a challenge, especially if you don't have Capricorn placements or Aquarius placements, to really deal with this Saturn and Aries energy. Me, I got Capricorn in my chart. Specifically my Mars. So my Mars and my Saturn are talking. So I feel like even during my Saturn square, which is a very to me, it's like a preview to your Saturn return. So it happens around when you're 21, 22. I just reflected back on that time in my life and I was like, some themes are repeating right now. Like the stage is being set right now that I can see. I'm like, oh, this is, I know what my Saturn return is going to be about. And I got a message from my guides that, because I've been asking what's going to happen? Tell me about my Saturn return. What's it going to be about? And I got a message from my guides and when I was least expecting it, and I was like, oh, this is what it's about. Interesting. Just a little insight. I am one of those people where I always felt like my identity was tied to serving. Saturn is a planet about serving as well. So it likes to serve. It's here to serve. It's here to labor, to be honest, and sustain things and keep it going. So I always was really chained to that identity of wanting to serve, wanting to, just kind of be that person that's always there for people, overdoing it, overgiving. And then I got burnt out and then I flipped to the opposite. And then I flipped again to become this guide for people because I found what I was passionate about, which was spirituality and tarot. And now I notice people come to me as a guide, but I started to identify too much. I think not too much, but I'm started to evolve past, okay, if I don't want to call myself a healer or a guide or a mentor, then what am I? What does that even mean? Who am I if I'm not those things? What's the next stage? And that's kind of scary because it's like I identify with this. I thought this was going to be like a career long term for me. Not saying that it's not going to be, but I have to go about it a different way. I don't know if this sounds super confusing, but because it's still not fully formed. I don't know what the hell is next. I just know that archetype hasn't been serving me anymore, but I also don't know what to do next.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, the beauty about Saturn returns, you kind of don't know. I mean, you can because the thing is, messages are great and especially being knowledgeable about spirituality and being connected and being intuitive. And it's great, but also it's Saturn returns is kind of you got to live it. You just got to experience it and let it all burn down, let it all transform, and then, hey, at the end of it, you might have a few wounds. You'll see what it is. But, hey, it's a time. For me, I went through, I don't know if it's psychosis. I don't know. Initiation. That's what it was. And spiritual initiation during my Saturn return. I left my body many times. I connected with my ancestors. That's the first time I ever connected with anyone on the other side. And it felt I knew I left my body. I would watch my body. I go to bed, I get out, and I step out of my body. And that was the scariest thing of my life. But also I had a lot of, family members passing away during that time. So I was very close ones, so I was very connected, to that. And so it really, just thinking back on it, and because the two people that passed away were Aquariuses.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I thought that was
That's super interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. So,
and it makes sense you said the spirituality because your Saturn is in the 3rd house, so the opposite house is the 9th. So it's on that axis. So it makes sense that that's being highlighted in your voice and everything. And I think that if you assess the strength of your Saturn, it can give you insight. And again, looking back to that Saturn square at 21 years old, what happened during that time when you were 21, 22? Because those themes are likely going to be repeating just in a different way, in a way where you can actually, because squares are tension. Squares are just okay.
Now that you bring that up, so I was fighting with my aunt that passed away. I was fighting with her a lot. Like, she took me to New York for my 21st birthday, and like, she was just insufferable. And like, we were just arguing. I was dating someone at the time. She didn't, he was a really nice guy, but like, she just was just in my biz. Like, it was just too much.
Yeah.
And like, she's considered a mother figure for me. It was just too much. But also, I had issues with friends. I actually had a dream of this guy that I was connected to in college. We had it was a weird relationship. I mean, essentially we were friends, but it was deeper than it was just deep. It was just really deep. But he's Aries. Funny. But I had a dream about him for the first time. I have not talked to this man in like 6-7 years. Probably, actually, no, like 9 or 10 years, actually. I have not spoken to this person, but he came to me in a dream a few weeks ago. And I'm like, And I decided I keep everything. So if we not friends no more, I have every message. I have everything.
I be keeping.
I don't delete nothing. So I was like, So I went back and looked at some old messages, and something that he told me, he was like, yo, Ronnie, like, he said all these other things, but one thing that stood out to me, he was like, you're an asshole, but I love you so much. And like, there was this one girl in college, like, I was an asshole to her, like, cause the thing is, like, when I meet somebody that's just weird as and like, I just get like a weird ass vibe from them, and they're just truly being themselves. I'm like, I'm very honest about like who I don't like. And so like, I did not mess with that. But like, people that could not stomach me being honest, I'm like, yo, I don't mess with her, so I'm gonna be honest about not messing with her. And like, he was like, I understand, but you're an asshole. So
dang.
Yeah. But he said it lovingly. He was like, I love you so much.
Yeah.
Like, you're the best thing that ever happened to me, blah, 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 blah. But he kept it real, It's like, yeah, I could have been kinder to this person because she was a sweet girl. At the end of the day, she was just weird as fuck. Okay? And I was just like, y'all don't see it? Okay. Excuse me. But I definitely had to, because Saturn was in my third house, right? Saturn Aquarius, very blunt. And having that in my third house, I definitely had issues, and my aunt is a very blunt person, right? I had issues with communication. So when you say flipping back and forth, right? So I was a very vocal person. I was very confident in my voice and what I was saying, making music, singing, rapping, whatever. But then I started being criticized. So after that, a lot of my friendships shifted. I didn't know what was going on. I kind of shrunk in my voice.
Yeah. I
shrunk in my voice. And then my Saturn return came around. I started speaking up for myself, but I started losing people. I'm just like, no, I'm being treated like crap. I'm not dealing with this anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not dealing with this. And a lot of things ended. Yeah. I was in a music group that ended, it's like, shifted jobs, you know what I'm saying? Like, just different relationships and different dynamics changed. And of course, losing family members. And now here I am, so, and reclaiming my voice. So,
period.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. Just like less assholey.
Just a journey, because you always gonna be learning stuff around your Saturn, especially if it's activated. Like your Saturn is activated right now. You got a stellium, Aquarius hitting it.
Yeah, because Pluto gonna be on.
Yeah. So it's like either way, like Saturn returns. Yes, they are pivotal because it's a return in your chart, but it's also like your Saturn can be activated in a time where it's like even worse for you than your Saturn return down the line because it's a square or it's a really tough planet conjunct your Saturn in transit. So yes, Saturn returns. I'm not saying that they're not important. I'm just saying that people putting so much emphasis on them as if they're going to ruin your life. Yeah, and your life is over and you're doomed.
Someone will die though. No, I'm joking.
I just think it's like we need to bring it down a bit because I've been hip to astrology since before I knew my Saturn return was coming up. I've been, studying whatever. Not saying I know what the hell's going to happen. I don't want to know. I'm excited for it.
I like her optimism, but I don't know. It's just like knowing people.
I know it's going to be a challenge. And here's the Saturn and Aries problem right here.
Yeah.
All right. I know it's going to be a challenge, but we like challenge. Aries loves to be challenged.
I can do it.
We love that.
I
shit.
can't wait to see her go through this.
And if it's anything like my Saturn square, it makes sense because my Saturn's in the 5th house. So at age 21, 22, around my Saturn square. Mind you, also, I believe Saturn was in Capricorn at this time, which is conjunct my Venus and Mars anyways. Mm-hmm. It was a lot about romance. I was dating around. I had just left my first love. And I was being in my whole phase. Saturn in the 5th house. Makes sense. Also, Saturn conjunct my Venus. Makes sense. So I was in my little whole phase. Met somebody. Met somebody that learned a lot of lessons through them. We were together long term. This is when I met.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
This is when I met Blank. This is when I met, Blank.
Okay.
And we ended up being together for years. But during that time, also, as I was dating around, I was in a throuple. Like before I even met this significant ex, I was in a throuple. I was having threesomes. I was having sexcapades and doing all this shit.
We love it.
And also, I dropped out of college to pursue art. And I was like, I don't want to do this. I want to be an artist. F all this. I want to be an artist. I'm going to go down that journey. And then all that kind of led me deeper into my spirituality. And I started getting more into that thing. And it was just a really big turning point it set me up for even now. Like right now, I'm still dealing with the consequences of those actions,
those decisions. Yeah.
Where I could tell, like looking back at that time, I needed to do that. I needed to kind of be hard-headed because I was kind of stuck before that. I was very rigid and kind of controlling and just a very unhappy, bitter person going along with what other people wanted me to do. Because when your Saturn's in Aries, you let other people identify you. You have to find your identity. If you don't find and hold on to your identity, other people are going to tell you who you are and you're going to believe them. And you need to not. Because at this time, I had my mom telling me who she wanted me to be. That's why I went to school for what I went to school for. I had the people I was dating telling me who I was, sent me in a spiral, sent me down many different paths. And it took me a while to realize and stand up for myself and be like, no, this is who the fuck I am. Don't tell me who I am. I know who I am. And if you don't grasp that and grab onto that Aries energy, Saturn is going to remind you of that. That's the lesson. That's the challenge. I personally think is, who are you? What do you stand for? What do you want to stand for? What are you building and why? And can you maintain that? Because you have to maintain it. Saturn is about maintaining.
Yeah.
Just because Aries is impulsive doesn't mean that that's the only activation of Aries. Aries can be a leader, a pioneer, an innovator. You can tap into those energies too. So don't let anybody tell you who you are and don't let anybody try to humble your ass. Okay?
The world gonna do it for you anyway.
Exactly. Because personally for me, a lot of the people that I'm meeting with the Saturn and Aries, it's less about a hard-headedness and more about a very closed off, independent to themselves energy because of so many people around them trying to tell them who they are. Because Saturn's going to keep reminding you of that.
Yeah.
And it's like, even now, like even the conversations right now about astrology, people are like, oh, Saturn and Aries, they think it's going to be so easy. Nobody said that it's going to be easy. It's going to be a breeze. Maybe some people did. I know I'm not running around here saying that shit. I'm running around here saying my Saturn is in a good place. So it might not be like I'm down bad on my knees begging for, please stop fucking me in my ass. Like I don't think it's going to be that bad, especially talking to some people who it's like, a few of my friends were like, I don't remember. Like, oh, that was my Saturn return? Okay. That wasn't that significant time in my life.
Some people's Saturn returns are just, Saturns aren't activated during that time.
Yeah.
But also like Saturn returns are important, but I do want to talk about Saturn in Aries and it's transiting a particular house because, you may not be going through your Saturn return. You may be older, you may be younger. Right. You know what I'm saying? And like, that is just like the house, for example. Let me use examples because so Saturn in the 5th house for me. So we both have the same house system, whatever.
Same rising.
Yeah, same rising, right?
Jupiter juice.
So for her, she's going through her Saturn return, right? And that. So for me, Saturn in Aries, I don't have any Aries placements, but it will be transiting my 5th house. But something that I know is happening for me, it's like creativity is my destiny. Like being an ultimate creative and owning that, because that's something I've struggled with, just owning my title of being a creative architect. You know what I'm saying? So like because I've been insecure about the many creative titles that I've had, right?
Yeah.
And so I feel like this journey is for me to actually be serious about my creativity and actually work at it, practice. So if I need to go to get voice lessons, you know what I'm saying, to make my voice healthier, write more so that, my brain can stay active and, I can stay thinking about different things, you know what I'm saying? And so it's like, I think it's, it's great, like this particular project that we're working on, I get to challenge myself as a writer and to challenge myself as a photographer in this and like actually build something that I want to last. I want this tarot deck to be, I'm like, I want the photos to be in museums. I want it to be a staple.
The spiritual renaissance.
Okay.
We on the front lines of that hole.
Exactly. That's exactly what I want. And so it's like sustained creativity.
Yeah.
Something that lasts. What are you building? So like Saturn Aries could deal with, your identity when it comes to family and what you're building and when it comes to that. Saturn Aries in 10th house. Okay. What, like when it comes to your career and like your identity and your relationship with your career.
Yeah, legacy. What are you going to be known for?
What are you being known for? You know what I'm saying?
It's like claiming an identity and staking it into the ground so you can build.
Exactly.
So it's like, I am a creative entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah. I am.
I am. Very root chakra.
Yeah.
Red root chakra.
I am.
Is Aries and Saturn energy.
That is so root. Because earth, because like Saturn is like earth, dirt. Aries, fire, red, right? So yeah, root chakra vibes.
Absolutely.
I am.
Yes.
Conviction.
It's intense.
But yeah,
I'm pumped.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I am. I'm excited. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm feeling all these.
I mean, hey, feel good.
And I'm just like, I just feel like it's finally a time for me, like you're saying, just to claim what I've always wanted to claim, what I've spent so many years kind of fumbling around and trying to like get proof of. Like, oh, I have to prove that I'm this, or I have to prove that I'm this, or I have to prove that I'm enough.
You need to prove it to yourself.
Yeah. And it's like, I'm done. I just feel done with that.
Yeah.
Like, I really do. Like, I felt, I don't know what's next, but I also know myself enough to know that I can handle it.
Yeah.
Because I've been through shit.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think most people are able to come out of their Saturn returns on, the opposite side, I mean, hey, more evolved. I mean, technically it is an evolution, right?
Yeah.
A lot of skin is shedding and stuff like that. But, it's definitely like just who you are and just owning who you are and being confident in that. It's just getting to the other side. It's just going to be healed and values. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't say my Saturn return was just all bad. No, that would be stupid. I could not say that. Like, I released an album during my Saturn return. I had brand deals during my Saturn return.
She was doing business.
Yeah, I was doing a lot of things. Okay, like, so it was definitely a beautiful time for sure. But I was fighting through that. Like, I was getting through that. I guess the pain of it all because of the creative outlets. But I think what happened with me at the end of it is like my identity when it came to like family, because I realized like over the past few years, like the group that I was in, I kept missing important events and things like that with my family. And then it came to the time like during my Saturn returns, like these people aren't even here anymore. I can't you know what I'm saying? So it kind of put into perspective for me, like what am I doing? And like being criticized because like I need to take time for myself. And I'm just like, it's just like, it can get ugly, but it's also still like a beautiful process. Yeah. Like I've had beautiful moments, me going through a spiritual initiation. It was scary at the time, but in hindsight, it was a beautiful moment. Like to be able to tap into that, my psychic abilities and, just like being able to connect with my ancestors and having that skill where it's not so overwhelming now. Like, okay, I can interact with my aunt and get messages from her, or like my uncle or my dad,
Yeah.
Lord have mercy. But yeah, like, and like be able to, in my waking life, be able to utilize that wisdom or, those insights and things like that without being so overwhelmed with this particular thing. So yeah.
It's like reminds me of like a setting in and an acceptance and a maturity and an acceptance of life. Acceptance of reality. And that not everything is
all peach keen,
sunshine and rainbows. And maybe things didn't turn out how you wanted them to turn out. Or maybe things didn't exactly, maybe you lost things that you can't get back.
But that's for sure.
You have to learn how to navigate that. Like settling in.
Because I wrote, I think at my end of my Saturn return, I wrote this song called Finding Feelings. It's like my favorite song that I've ever written. My most popular song, actually. But like, it's, I think with that, because, they say Aquarius is so detached. And I came across as detached in my communication. I think that's why people found me so harsh sometimes. I always got this weird dynamic. It's like, oh my gosh, she's so fun. She's so loving. But then like, you get to know me. It's like, no, I don't take BS. I don't, like if I see something that's BS, it's BS, whatever. But I think like with that, it's just like, okay, I found a way to communicate effectively without like shrinking myself, but also just like listening and, actually communicating effectively with other people. And unfortunately, but fortunately, because, people look at death as like a negative thing, but like, it happens. Like, that's just something we're going to have to deal with, realistically or metaphorically. We're going to have to go through that particular process. In the waking life, we go through that phase many times, but it's just like recognizing and honoring your connections with people. And that's something that I had to learn, and I can still stand up for myself and not shrink in the presence of others, but I can also, be endearing with my words, or communicate in an effective way to where somebody is not, their feelings aren't harmed or anything like that, but, they can understand you versus, just taking offense to everything you're saying. So
absolutely.
It's just like being real with that.
That makes sense. It's like Saturn wants you to be humbled, yes, but not self-deprecating.
Yeah, for sure.
Like thinking of the greater good as a whole, because it rules Capricorn, it rules Aquarius. Those two signs are concerned with society. They're concerned with building up societies. They're concerned with helping society progress forward. So Saturn, that's its main agenda. It doesn't care about much else. To be honest, it's like, if it's got to go, it's got to go.
Period.
If it's gonna stay, we got to build it. Let's get to it. What are we talking about? What do you mean feelings? Get out of here. And it exalts in Libra, which is always interesting to me, because about Saturn and Aries is in fall, by the way. That's another thing. Been kind of all over the place with this. Just been
we've just been talking. We're gonna wrap it up soon though.
Yeah, for sure. So I think with it being in fall, planets in fall, they feel like anytime a sign enters a planet that it's not welcome in, it's like going into somebody's house and it's like, girl, why is she here? It's like, get her out of here. Who told her to come?
Like, who is this?
So then it's like, you don't know what to do or how to act. You have to be there. I mean, you're supposed to be there, but it's also like, okay, well, how do I act? Like, what am I supposed to do? And it's like, everything you do is kind of wrong. So you have to learn how to navigate that territory. So I'm curious to see, how this is going to go.
Well, I'm curious to see it too. I'm curious, hey, nice to be on the other side of things.
And I will be looking to you for some wisdom.
I'm like, girl,
believe it. She been through it.
I'd have been. Oh Lord.
So look to your fellow.
I need my 40 acres and a mule.
Look to your elders. I'm not saying.
Oh my God!
10-year-old. Okay.
Yo, what the heck?
Okay, you're just older than me. Shit.
Good Lord. Okay.
Shut up. I swear.
Okay. You gonna be 30 soon.
I know. I'm ready for that too. I'm not gonna lie, I'm ready.
Girl, oh my God, aging is so beautiful.
When I was like a kid, I used to be like, I can't wait till I turn 50.
I mean, I can wait, but like I I like it.
Yeah.
It's like, because I still feel so young.
Yeah.
I still feel so youthful. I mean, I'm still young technically. Like on the scope of things. Like I'm 34, so
you got a youthful spirit.
Yeah. I'm a Gemini.
But yeah, y'all, let us know how you think this Saturn and Aries is going to go.
Yes.
If you are going through your Saturn return, let us know what you are looking forward to, what you are scared of. Let it all out in the comments. Treat it almost like a diary entry. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways,
well, thank you so much for tuning in to Jupiter Juice. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and join our Patreon so we can have a little fun over there. Let's connect, okay? Let's get to know each other, okay? But other than that, y'all have a great evening, day, week, month, year.
Yes.
Yeah. Bye.